Taking into account what Kyrian just said, he whom sniffed decided to take the burden to carry him on his back, to make the appearance that he just recently captured this being and in no way stays in contact with him. He whom sniffed proved to be a quick thinker indeed. Just as we discovered the first fortification of the members of the Holy Nation, we were spotted by them. First, we thought we could still hide somewhere in the dust, but no. We were already spotted and they were yelling out to us.
Stop! There's a beast in your midst!
So I dropped my meat bag, which I was planning to turn in for a fine sum, and we ran as fast as we could. Unfortunately, our untrained group wasn't nearly fast enough to outrun even one of the holy humans. Could this already be the end of our journey? We just escaped the desert, came together as comrades and shared food and stories together, just to get beaten up on the holy grounds for being in the company of a green stick bug man? But then the leader said something which caught me off guard.
Come speak with me, beast!
What? He didn't outright want to kill us? Nor Kyrian on his own? He was coming at us with words. Maybe we could send our wisest member out to reason with them. So he whom sniffed stepped forward, still shouldering the body of the beast.
Unholy beasts are not to roam freely on the Holy Nation soil. Who are you? Who do you serve, interloper? And why are you with the foreign beast? Tell me!
I serve the Lord Okran. This beast is my slave.
Under the law of the Holy Lord Phoenix himself, blessed be his name, all non-humans are to be rebirthed in the doctrine of Okran. Slavery is a cruel thing, brother. You will submit your slaves so that I can serve a higher cause.
My, slave already serves Okran under my own guidance.
And you think you know better than the holy priests of the clergy?
Of course not, but I need my slave to help me spread the word of Okran?
Haha! Then go forth and spread the word, brother. Okran needs many more recruits in the crusade against darkness. Your beast will give you good leverage.
Of course, yeah, of course.
Blessings upon you, brother.
Holy narco, that was a knife's edge. If it wasn't for the slick lying tongue of our comrade, we surely wouldn't live another day, or worse, live in slavery. To avoid any other inconveniences, we decided to sneak through the dark of the night, covering as much distance as we could. After a few minutes of walking, we came across yet another Holy Nation colony. However, it wasn't a fort, much rather a farm, where they planted food to supply the Holy Empire. I told the others to hide away with Kyrian, while I was going to check out if they could give us anything of value. I don't feel like being lunch. Blessings upon you, brother. Okran's light shines brightly today. A good omen. Any travel advice you could give me? Venturing on a pilgrimage, brother? Well, it's best to stick to the holy territory. The outer lands are infested with narcos heretics that will try to deceive and tempt you into darkness with them. Yeah, okay. But if you must venture further, above all else must you avoid traveling northwest. Only the most devilish monstrosities prowl there, 100 times the size of a man, with the hunger of a rabid demon. The foolish treasure hunters are the only travelers to delve there, never to return. But how tragic it is, there is nothing there worth searching for. There is no place for riches if Okran is already in your heart. Thanks for the info. Turns out they couldn't give us anything except valuable information, although I wasn't sure what exactly he was referring to as devilish monstrosities. Could it be more of Kyrian's folks? Whatever, there was no way we were going there with our current power level. So we regrouped and set our night travel forth. The night must have been unbelievably dark, as it at one point saved us from the eyes of an adventurer group on our left and even from the noses from a herd of bone dogs on our right. Please don't ask me how that makes sense. We were just very glad to have survived this uncomfortable situation. At dawn of the new day, we've reached the mountains. The terrain was as beautiful as difficult to move through. And now it was also storming and pouring buckets on us. At least there was no one else up here, so we could cease the sneaking. The mountains grew steeper and steeper, so we were especially happy when we could make out the valley before us, belonging to the area of the Iron Valley. We just had to pass through here to reach our destination, the border zone. The border zone, which is the center part of our world, as no other landmass survived the risen ocean around the planet. Unfortunately, it started pouring again, but something was strange. It felt like the rain was hurting somehow. Kyrian didn't seem to be bothered by it, but the rest of us could definitely feel a slight burning on our skin.
The rain is burning my skin. Burning. Acid rain. This bloody rain burns.
When we realized we were traveling under poisonous acid rain, we had to move quickly before the burning would intensify. So we switched paths to travel along the area of Skinner's Roam. Walking the lands here was far more bearable. It wasn't as hot as the desert, wasn't as steep as the mountains, and no signs of acid rain. But of course, even this part of the map had its dangers. In the distance we could spot some horrific creatures. I am not exaggerating when I say they were nightmarish. He whom sniffed said he encountered those beings before on his past travels with his old crew. Those are Beak things, large bird-like predators with sharp beaks and powerful claws, known for their aggressive nature and tendency to attack in groups. They pose a serious threat to unwary travelers. I've already lost enough comrades to those creatures. Let's be careful not to get their attention. We agreed and moved until night, when we found an abandoned camp where we decided to take a nap and regenerate our strengths. Bloodstains were found on the ground around the camp. With the Beak things around, it wasn't hard to think of what must have happened here. Once again, it proved to be the right decision to take Devil along, as he would prove himself useful again, patrolling around the campfire, looking out for any dangers at night. His bone dog senses were excellent for the job. Freshened up from the sleep, our feet felt light and energetic, ready to move the last few miles to the border zone. On our travel, we came by another mine owned by the Holy Nation. Weirdly formed grey rocks, which seemed to defy any logic, and weird steel structures from way past days. And a lot more sand. Unfortunately, the peaceful walk couldn't last forever, as we encountered a group of hungry bandits along the trail. They begged us for our food, but we had none to spare.
Hey, let's make a deal. Hand over your food.
A battle between groups was bound to happen. Everyone quickly drew their weapons. It wouldn't matter how stained red the sand would become, as long as the winning force would get or keep their food supplies. It was a chaotic battle, our biggest one yet. Although we were outnumbered, we were well rested and fed. Devil, me and Sniffy drew the attention of the bandits towards us. We were blocking and returning their blows, as Kyrian was loading their backs with arrows from behind, like the true assassin he wanted to be. But he soon got noticed and had to fight his own one-on-one. He would prove himself to be a worthy member of our group. Although Devil was fighting against two foes simultaneously, he was the first to finish off his targets. He soon joined to help Kyrian with his troublemaker, and as he fell to the ground, they both ran to support Sniff with his balding attacker. It didn't take long until he collapsed too, so we could all focus together to beat up the woman of the enemy group. We circled her and slashed, bit and cut her up from all angles. The battle was over, as fast as it began. The sand was stained with blood, but we had suffered no losses. We successfully defended our food. This was a testimony of our combined strength and teamwork. We could be proud of ourselves. The journey continued, and we came across a nice, pleasant river, perfect to take the mind off of the massacre that just unfolded moments ago. It was a long river, and it led us to another fortress in the wild. A very impressive one at that. It was built high over the canyon. It had turrets on the bridge, which had everything inside. Only a fool would dare to attack this safe haven. This sense of security is rare in the wasteland, and so we decided to take the opportunity and rent a real bed for tonight. Even though it was really expensive for 500 cats each. It was night as we left the grounds, as we left safety. But the capital city of the hub wasn't far away. We had to make it there. We walked alongside the river again. It was even more calming at night. You know, listening to the gentle rippling of the water and the soft howling of the wind. I haven't been able to enjoy those simple things for a long time since walking the deserts. The night sky was beautiful too. I can't wait to set out my own base somewhere. The first half of the night was already over when we could finally see the capital. It was a massive town filled with all kinds of people and buildings. It was promising fun to explore the insides of its walls. So we rushed over to the city gates. We arrived at dawn, the gate waiting openly at the top of the canyon, bidding us inside. Like we always do, we straight up went to a bar looking for new companions. And that's where we found a Robloxian K4Z, an old skeleton older than any one of us could remember.
I came from the damp dark dungeons, my origins a mystery hidden beneath the ancient fortress of Hungary. In those depths I transformed, flesh became metal, and my eyes began to glow with a cold mechanical light. They made me for conventional use, a robot, precise, functional, yet more than just the sum of my parts. Deep within my circuits, however, lay a whisper, a memory of my shadowed past that only I could ever understand.
He didn't have much to say, but was eager to join our group for 6,000 cats. A high price, but suited for a skeleton. In exchange for being broke again, we now had our 5th member to the group. A machine which didn't have to eat, drink or sleep. He was perfect for keeping the base running while we were adventuring. Speaking of a base, first we needed to gather some more cats in order to be able to afford building supplies and stuff like that. So we got back to work. This time we settled on mining, a much more ethical occupation than slavery, but also not as good paying. After a week of combined hard work, we gathered enough cash to buy some basic needs, like medkits and food rations. We also bought a backpack for Kyrian so he could carry more than just arrows around. Now we just needed a temporary place to stay, so we watched out for any real estate in our general location. We found that a small settlement just next to the capital had a small shack for 5,600 cats for sale, an amount of money which we still had to spare. So we moved in, bought some building materials from the trader nearby and got busy. We built a bed and a research machine.